Hello everybody and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program, where it took a while. But I finally figured out what exactly the problem with all of this was. And specifically, the issue was a bug. Who would have thought? So, what was ending up happening was, in the save file, all of these were set to a locked state, and there was no way to change it out of the locked state in-game. So I had to go into the save file and edit the locked state for each one of these parts from true to false, was all it took. So you can see here, if we engage this motor, we can now turn the arm. It's a little interesting that this doesn't seem to like to turn, but that's okay. We can have that traverse rate be, a little lower than this. That can be about there right now, and we'll just have this sit at its normal 0. How about? That seems nice. Now, as far as this over here goes, I'm not entirely sure why that's working the way it is. Maybe because we need to just have the motor engaged for all of these. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and engage all of these motors, and then it should all be good to go. This is the way, at this point, that I expected this to be. I also turned it from on power loss to free. We'll see if that ends up being a thing that I want, but that should hopefully be okay. So we engage that motor, and then that spins right on around like that. Engage that motor, and it spins to be its correct location. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what the problem was. So now if we rotate this, it should rotate the whole arm as I expect. Yes. Good. Okay, so let me go ahead and make a quick save here. There we go, saving all of that progress. And we're going to then have to dock in at this port. That should be a reasonably easy thing to do. However, the first thing I'm going to actually do is I'm going to get Bill out of here. I don't want Bill to potentially get wrecked by this arm. So, we're going to just take him on over this way, and he's going to go over and stand with Heldis over there. Excellent. Get on over there, Bill. There we go. I am seeing that this is floating a bit, but I'm not sure that there's all that much we can really do about it, unless we wanted to rebuild the arm, which would apparently end up requiring redoing the save edit, which would be slightly obnoxious. So first things first, I'm going to go ahead and rotate this to be 180 degrees, or I guess 179 I'll do. Yeah, close enough. Because we need to start heading out this direction, which means that we need the alligator hinge to be opening this way. So let's go ahead and have that. I'm going to turn its traverse rate down to like 10. Okay. And we're just going to bring it over to, say, maybe something like 20 degrees? Maybe a little more than 20, like 25. Yeah, that should do the trick. Excellent. Next, let's go ahead and extend this hydraulic cylinder. And we'll push that out to be somewhere along the lines of, well, it'll need to be maximum extension, I think. Okay, next I'm going to rotate this servo. I'm going to turn that traverse rate down to like 30 again. But we're going to rotate this servo to have the hinge be... Let's have it be like this way. I'd like to get a little bit of height here. And we'll have that hinge's rotation traverse rate go to about 10. There we go. And let's just raise this on up a little bit. We need to get some altitude. That's looking about right on the altitude. So we'll just leave that there. Yeah, this is very wiggly. There's no doubt about that. I'm hoping that that settles a bit. And then we'll just extend this guy on out all the way that it can go. And we'll also extend this one on out for now, all the way that it can go. And also this one. Is this too far away? This may be too far away. It is slightly too far. I was hoping that that would be close enough, but alas, it is not. That's okay. We can hop it in a little bit closer. It's going to be a little awkward for sure. We'll just go ahead and pull these arms in so that hopefully we don't destroy this structure. That would be nice. And we're going to hop over to the... Where are you? Fuel hauler. Here we go. Okay. I'm going to quick save again here. And we're just going to lift this up ever so slightly and rotate it like this. Okay. SAS on, please. Thank you. And at this point, we are going to... Hang on. We're going to bring it on over this way a little bit. And we're going to bring it along to surface retrograde here. Okay. And we're just going to bring it on down here. Actually, that was not the angle that I wanted. So I just decided to call off that particular landing. And we're just going to bring it on back over here. I have no idea where I put the... Ah, there it is. Okay, let's bring this back this direction. And we'll just try to land this a wee bit closer. So we'll bring it back and put it somewhere along the lines of here for now. And it's going to take us a little while to get there for sure. I'm just going to flip us around to retrograde to kill our apoapsis time a bit. I don't want to wait 30 seconds. So let's bring that on down. Okay. Excellent. And now we can switch back to retrograde. And we'll just come in a little closer here. What is our time to impact here? Our time to impact is about 50 seconds. Okay. So let's take it on down over this way-ish? No. What way do we want to go? We want to go this way. Okay. Sounds good to me. Something like that. Okay. And let's see what that ends up looking like as we get a wee bit closer here. 22 seconds to impact right now. Wondering if this is our arm? I don't think so. I think... Oh, maybe it is. Maybe that is our arm. Yeah, we're a little closer than I would like, actually, here. So I'm just going to bring this on down and over here. That looks good, right there. Okay. Hopefully we don't impact the arm as we come in. But I don't think that we will. Okay, let's just decelerate a little bit here. I'd like to decelerate a little more now. Okay. And you can see here that I didn't pay attention to my landing attitude, but we are definitely much closer, and this should be fine. We shouldn't have to worry about it. So we'll switch over to the... not the pad builder, the mining outpost here. Excellent. We'll let everything settle for a moment, and we are obviously going to have to rotate this guy back around to 0, but that's actually not going to work. Hold here for the moment. Reason being that that's not going to work is because we need to fix this hinge's target angle. And now we need to fix this hinge's target angle. And now we can rotate it back around to 0. And close enough, I suppose. Excellent. Does this actually need to be 0? I kind of feel like it needs to be like 90 here. A 90. not this 90. Negative 90 is the direction I think it needs to go. Yes. Right like that. Fantastic. And then we will bring that up a little bit. That's probably more than that needs to come up. Yeah, that definitely is more than it needs to come up. Maybe about like 15 degrees. Yeah, something like that. Okay. So at this point, we are, of course, going to need... Maybe what we need to do here is extend this a little bit more to like 20 degrees, like that. And then have this one rotate to be something along the lines of negative 90. And then rotate to be... This should be, what, also 20 degrees? Like that. Yes, and then that makes that straight. Although what we really need this to be, though, now that I think about it, is we really need it to be at 0 here. Because we need this to be able to adjust for this bend. So let's go ahead and extend this on out, but I'm going to first kill that angle. Let's extend this on out. Do we need any more extension than this? I feel like we don't. I definitely feel like we don't. Having the camera be off-center like this is really awkward. I wish we could reroute this to make this be the route of our location. But unfortunately, we cannot. And so this is what we've got. So I'm going to go ahead and bring out the angle of this hinge a little bit like so. Excellent. And I think we need to drop this angle down to maybe like 18 degrees. Something like that. And then extend this out a bit. Well, what we actually need, now that I think about it, is for this to be extended quite a bit further. Because we want this alligator hinge right here to be basically in line with it, is what we want. So, we're going to extend that all the way out like so. This one could even go out a little ways like that, or so. And then I'm going to have this come out this direction, maybe around 5 degrees. I wish we had a little more control on this, but alas, we do not. And then we want this guy to be something like... please push against it. Thank you. A 90-degree angle. Okay, where are we in relation to the docking port there? Okay, we can see pretty well from the top where we are. Sounds good. It looks like we need a little bit more angle here. This looks approximately correct. And then we'll bring this back just a little bit. Be about like that. Now we're seeing docking forces. And let's just adjust this angle a bit. Pull this guy back. Maybe not quite that far back. How are we doing on height? Our height is okay-ish. We could push this out a little bit more and bring this guy back to get a little bit more height, I feel like. And then just adjust this angle. We should be able to get this to dock up here in a moment. Just by tweaking this. Unfortunately, this is... the working of this arm is something that we can't really effectively automate. Let's bring this to like 18, maybe 19 or 20 degrees. Yeah, 20 degrees appears approximately correct to me. And then we'll bring this out to like 30, like that. It's not quite there. Okay. So we'll just extend this out a little more. And this is something that we're not going to be doing on camera very often. I just want to... whoa! That's a lot. Okay, let's lower that right on back down. Thank you very much. To about 30. Yeah, there we go. And then let's just rotate this servo here. to see about getting that in. About like that. Do we need to extend it a little bit, maybe? What direction do we need to go here? I think down a little. So bring this down to like 29, 28, 27. That's really close there. Just looking at it. Yeah, that's incredibly close. But yeah, this is something we're not going to be doing on camera too often. I just want to get this done the one time just to show how it works, essentially. So this target angle we can try to smooth out a little bit. And maybe increase this angle a little bit, like that. And then drop this angle a little bit. I mean, there is a way to do this for sure. Do we actually have to set this as our target? We might have to set that as our target to get it to dock. And then we can switch over to the fuel hauler and set this as our target. And actually we can see here that what we really need is we need to go this way a little bit, which is not difficult to do if we can find the correct structure here. Ooh, I don't like that. Ooh, actually with the jump, that did the trick. So this thing is currently being held. This is currently part of the same structure. That physics jump was interesting, but we now have access to these fuel tanks. So that's wonderful. You can see here they're even filling up. So that is exactly what we wanted. Perfect. So like I said, this is something I will mostly do off camera when we need to refuel the Minmus station. It's a fiddly process, but it's a functional one. So let's go ahead and switch over to Bill right now, if we can find him. There we go. I'm going to quick save in case we have any weird physics mishaps. But what I want to do is I want to get up there, find somewhere to stand on, and dismount that comms buoy up there. What can we stand on here? We might be able to stand on the RCS thruster. Let's see. And we'll just have to move this thing down. Can we stand here? Yes. Okay. So we'll hop into here. And we can't move this. And I have no idea why. Some parts are movable and some are not. And it doesn't seem to indicate what we can and can't move. But this is actually a really big problem. Because this is our docking port. The idea was that we would be able to move this. I have no idea why we can't. But some things, it seems like you just can't move. Why would you not be able to move the antenna? I'm very confused by this. I mean, we can move this antenna, but we intend for this to have this antenna. This one being here does break it. This design won't work with this here. I mean, we could make it work with the docking port juniors, but we shouldn't have to, I would think. So that's my next question, is why do some parts just not let you grab them? No matter what you attempt to do. I understand if it's too heavy, but this is not too heavy. We should be able to grab it and attach it down here, and then grab it from down here and start moving it over. The idea was to mount it right up top here. And then with this here, we'd be able to move a battery from like over here. I suppose we can go see if we can move batteries. That's something we can do. Because we shouldn't need batteries over here. So we would just Actually, we should land over here. I guess here's fine. And let's see. Yeah, we can move this. Like, okay. I don't understand why some things we can move and some things we can't, and there's no indicator in the part description whether they can be moved or not. Now, is this an SAS or a battery? No, I don't actually know. Let's see here. This would be the SAS, right? Yeah, so this should be the battery. So then we just move the battery on over, and the battery would probably be placed right under this docking port if we were able to move this stuff. And I don't know why we can't. It really seems like we should be able to in this gravity. But it doesn't seem to be related to the gravity. Some parts just don't seem to be movable for some reason. And the game is non-specific as to which parts that is and why they aren't movable. Which I gotta say, I do find irritating. That is for sure. So we can just mount this, like, here for now temporarily. Like, in theory, that would work fine. And then we'd want to, in theory, move this up, which we would have to do from, like, here. Like, radially mount it. Yeah, it'd be interesting getting it up there, but I think we'd be able to. But I don't understand why we can't, apparently, even interact in the slightest with the communications device up here. Like, in theory, even if we were to build a tower to allow us to more easily access this stuff, which we can do with these modular girder segments, it's still not going to work. Like, we can build ourselves a tower over here, essentially just turning this thing on its side, right? And we'd be able to use this to elevate up the battery as well, now that I think about it. So, just something kind of like this. And then we would place these, say, over here. Yeah, we can't do that because of the strut here. That's fine. Other part attachments? This strut? I wonder if it has to do with strutting, then. But what about struts that are already fired? That seems like that might be another bug. Like, honestly, this whole Kerbal construction system is really cool, right? But I feel like it might actually be super buggy. So we would come over here, put this here. And then, of course, the idea would be that we would come on up over this way. Land on top of this guy. In theory. And we would be able to do something like this. That's a little awkward, but, you know, it gets the job done, mostly. Yeah, we can't get up there with that one. However, I was... Oh, that. Yeah, that's a bug, too. That happens sometimes. Yep, it just sometimes happens. Nothing you can really do about it, either. The whole system is just a little bit finicky. So yeah, I mean, I would think that we'd be able to grab this from here. I'm not 100% on the range on that being 6.9 meters. It may or may not be a thing. I mean, one thing we can do is deliberately destroy this, right? That is a possibility. And how would we go about doing that? Well, we could just destroy it with, like, a cheat projectile or something. I don't know. But it's... That's my official opinion right now. Like, let's head back to the Space Center into the VAB, and let's see if there's any indicator on these items, whether they can be manipulated or not. Because I feel like that communications array absolutely should be able to be manipulated. Absolutely. So let's take a look here. That is the, if we go into the communication here, that is the RA-15 relay antenna. It can't be the first part on a vessel, sure, but there are a couple of variants, the 0.625 meters and the 1.25 meter variant. Okay, so we'll put in a fuel tank as the first part on the vessel, and then we'll put in the relay antenna like that. And yeah, you can change the variant, sure, but that's completely fine. The core issue here is that there's absolutely no indicator that this cannot be built on the planet surface. Absolutely none. You just can't interact with it for some reason. And I believe this is a stock part as well, not a restock part. I'm not 100% on that, but that's what I'm thinking right now. Is that is a restock, or not a restock part. I believe that this one is the restock part. But the RA-15 I don't think is. So yeah, I'm definitely a little bit irritated about that. For sure. I really, really like the Kerbal construction system. I just wish it wasn't so janky. And I also wish that it wasn't so inconsistent. Like, that's a big part of the jankiness, though, right? Is the inconsistency. We don't have an engineer here to test on Kerbin. But there's absolutely nothing here to indicate that there's not a way to build with this. And maybe it's... Hang on, I just thought of something. Maybe it's because it's attached to the docking port? Let's see here. Actually, I don't want to fly Bill here. I want to fly the mining base, which is in here somewhere. Right? Am I just missing it? Oh, you know what? It probably renamed to, like, Mini Builder or something. Let's just switch to Bill, and we'll find it from there. It may have renamed the craft when we docked them together, I suppose. Okay. So let's go ahead and see here. Yeah, this is the fuel hauler now. This is not the mining outpost. Okay, sure. So let's then come over here and what happens if we decouple this node? How explosively does it expel this off of here? For one. Yeah, this is definitely the problem. Is that this is the way we need to do this. Can we switch over to Bill fast enough to go catch it? Probably. Can Bill stow it? That's the question that I have right now. Those physics jumps make me so nervous. So nervous. Okay, first things first. I'm going to have Bill head up over into the pad builder. Because we need to do a couple of things here. We need to grab on. We need to grab on, Bill. There you go. Grab on. We're going to restock our EVA propellant. There we go. And I would also absolutely love to store this somewhere. Unfortunately, this is actually full of struts. Let's see, 0.3 tons. Yeah, Bill wouldn't be able to store this anyway. So let's go ahead and have Bill EVA. And he's just going to go over here. And let's just see just how explosively this decouples. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. Okay, so yeah, that's the problem up here, 100%. The rechargeable battery bank we will be attaching in there. Okay, Bill, let's head on over. Come on, Bill. There you go. Any moment now. Thanks, Bill. Guess we'll see if we can get away with landing on this thing. Looks like we can. Unfortunately, we still can't interact with the communications device. We can physically push it off of here. It may not survive impact from this height. Good job, Bill. Okay. It did. It physically survived impact, but I believe we still can't interact with it. Yeah, I have no idea why we can't interact with this. I guess that's something that I will have to look up and figure out. It is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're going to see if I can figure out a way to finally interact with this guy, pop him up here, and get this all the way up. And for that, we'll probably need these ladders. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and offerings. Offerings? I was going to say bell ringings. That's what it probably should be. And I will see you all next time.